You get these little lessons that you learn. You can integrate them into your life. It's fantastic. You're vibing. That's what you need. You need tea in your life. There's nothing that can be said to satisfy you. You're vibing. You're cooling it. Stop thinking. DMT is the best speed run. I don't think so. The way that I would like to explain this, I'm going to explain it. So we've got normal life. We gotta work on my communication skills. This is actually, I forgot about this. This is why I wanted to look at the Charisma on Command videos, because it helps with communication. And then we like immediately shot down Charisma on Command, and then we didn't watch any more videos. So I'm stuck not communicating well, but we need to communicate. We need to communicate. We don't need to, but we need to. We don't need to, but we need to, okay? We're communicating. And the point of this is, great communicators, they can explain really complex things, really simple ways. I am not doing that at all. I'm doing probably the exact opposite, explaining very simple things in the most complicated, ridiculous way possible. But we're gonna explain this very, very simply. We've got here, everyday life, and here we've got the typical expression of enlightenment. This is the most obvious expression of enlightenment. We'll say that. Everyday life, obvious expression of enlightenment. Actual enlightenment is the line, it's everyday life, the typical expression of enlightenment, and the line that connects it. It's all of them, everything. All of it is actual enlightenment. Actual enlightenment is all of it. But there's still a typical expression, and there's everyday life. When you take drugs, you jump from your everyday life and you skip over to like maybe halfway through. If you're taking mushrooms, or if you're taking LSD, or if you're taking marijuana, you kind of go, you jump. When you take DMT, 5-MeO DMT, you are launched directly. You are teleported to this state over here. You're teleported to this obvious expression of enlightenment, and you have no context at all, not even a little bit of context. And then when you jump back to your everyday life, you have no idea how these things are connected. Not even a little bit of an idea. So you are shattered. All of your worldview is shattered, and you have no way of really understanding what the beginning was. So the only way you need to do this is you need to 5-MeO DMT is, I think, the strongest, maybe the second one of the strongest, is much stronger than LSD, yes. So when you do like standard meditation, you start from everyday life and you sort of travel along the road getting here, and so you get the context. And most people just kind of travel along the road. You don't really get all the way there, you just travel. When you take DMT, you're here, but you have none of the backstory. So what you need to do is you need to keep taking DMT so that you can sort of go backwards. Start from your super duper obvious enlightenment state and kind of return back to your everyday life. You have to go backwards, and that is extremely difficult because it's extremely taxing on your mental health, first of all, because you shatter all your assumptions and all that stuff. It's extremely taxing on your physical health for whatever other reasons. I don't know a lot about drugs. I'm kind of talking out of my butt right now, but I think you get the idea. When you take these sort of drugs, it's difficult. So it's hard to go backwards. But you have to keep taking DMT and work your way back, and that's difficult. And that may not be the best way, because the obvious expression of enlightenment is not the only expression of enlightenment. All of it's the expression of enlightenment. And you don't want to be confused. That's the really difficult part. So when you take DMT, you're confused into thinking, everything is one. There are no qualities in the world. Nothing matters, but everything matters. Like, you get confused by that, thinking that that's more important than everything else. It's not. It's not. All of it's enlightenment. Everything is enlightenment. All of it is. That's just the obvious expression of it. And you don't want to be tricked by the obvious expression and think that's the only expression. That's what happens when you take DMT. What happens when you drink tea is you coast. You coast along. You coast along. You get little lessons along the way. It's great. It's great. You get little lessons. You can very easily integrate them because you aren't jumping. You aren't jumping to the end. You're just kind of coasting. You're kind of coasting. You're enjoying the way. And you can go back and forth very easily. You get these little lessons that you learn. You can integrate them into your life. It's fantastic. You're cooling it. You're vibing. That's what you need. You need tea in your life. And when you drink tea, you're like, whoa, my gosh, everything is magic, bro. Everything's connected. Wow, everything's one. I'm vibing with this stuff. But then you remember, I'm just drinking tea, bro. It's just tea. You're not confused into thinking that the tea is the important part. That's the beauty of tea. You're not tricked into thinking that this is what you need. No, man. All of it, bro. All of it. Remember, we are all one. Everything is connected. Everything is one, which means that where you are now is complete enlightenment. Don't forget it. We're all one. When you're drinking tea, you're not confused into thinking that whatever state you are in at the moment is the more valuable state than anything else. Don't take DMT, take tea. Yes, yes, yes. That is the message. Ooh, what happens when the enlightened man takes DMT? Good question. I don't know. No idea. Stream's over. Stream's over. Nothing to see here, boys. Nothing to see here. You pay to see it. We've got lots of there are videos online. I'm getting so distracted. Okay. Well, there's no distraction because we finished. So Leo from actualized.org has a video. I don't know if I would call him an enlightened master or whatever, but he calls it the enlightenment experience in real time. He takes DMT and videotapes it, and it is hilarious. It is amazing. It is beautiful, and I very much enjoyed watching it. And if you would pay to see it, all you gotta do is watch the YouTube channel, and you don't need ads. If you don't have ads and you're paying to see it, I think that's how it works. Or if you like it, you're paying to see it because that helps. And in my case, I'm sharing it with you guys, so I'm paying to see it too.
Is this thing working?
He's enlightened right now, okay. Full enlightenment. This is beautiful. Check out this guy.
Let me see how much battery I got.
Yeah, obvious.
Oh, man. I hope this is recording.
It's recording, bro. Don't worry. You're good. You're good. Fully enlightened, by the way. I hope it's recording. Fully enlightened. Yes.
I want to capture this.
Please.
Because it's so funny. So I just moments ago, and this is probably for a good 15 minutes now. I've been going through a total awakening. What is at my door?
Total awakening. Absolute enlightenment. What is at my door? What are the implications of total awakening? Hold on. What's going on?
Yes? I'm recording here. Thanks. Still there?
Yeah, we're here, bro. Don't worry.
Okay. Impromptu. That was weird. The Amazon guy came, delivered a package.
Listen to this, okay? Listen to this. Total awakening, full enlightenment.
Interrupted my train of thought.
Completely interrupted the train, yes.
Okay. Anyways.
Ooh, he is on 5-MeO DMT. He took it 15 minutes ago or 30 minutes ago, whatever.
So, yeah, about 15 minutes ago, I had a complete awakening.
What is the implication of complete awakening?
Complete self-understanding of everything about reality.
Literally everything about reality.
Myself. I just want to describe it. It's so epic and big. It's there's a loss for words for it. Even my body is still trembling.
Let's remember this. Total awakening means you have complete knowledge. Remember we read the thing about Till Swan, knowing she has the access to the Akashic records. She knows literally everything in the universe. This guy right now literally knows everything in the universe. That's what he's saying. Complete awakening. He has absolute knowledge of himself, of the world, himself being in the world. He is God. He is everything. But he's also distracted by a surprise visit from an Amazon guy. And he didn't seem very respectful or loving towards this Amazon guy. He was kind of like he was like very confused. He's like, hey, I'm recording. He was kind of like mean to him, just remember that. Remember that. Total awakening. Literal total awakening. He claims literal total awakening. He feels love of the universe. He is the universe. He knows literally everything that happens. However, he's not sure if he's recording. He's not sure who this random guy who opens his door is. He doesn't know. He doesn't know. What is this nonsense?
It's hard to contain. It's hard to contain the emotion and the significance of this, because it's utterly spectacular, utterly I mean, wow, it's like, wow. Complete awakening. Complete
Complete.
awakening.
Yes. Yes, you're there, man. Tell us more,
It's
please.
unbelievable. It's unbelievable because it's too good to be true, and yet it's at the same time it's absolute truth.
It is.
And it can't be anything else. It's the complete realization that you are God.
He is
So
God.
right now I'm completely conscious that I am God, and I'm completely conscious of how I'm creating the entire universe. Anything that could ever possibly exist, I am,
Yes.
and it's absolute perfection.
Yes.
Pure infinite consciousness is what I am. I am absolutely everything, and I'm conscious of absolutely everything.
This is what happens when you take a lot of drugs. And I agree with literally every statement that he's saying. Every statement, literally every statement, I agree with it, all of it. We just said this exact same thing. Every moment is contained in like all of the past and the future is contained in a single moment, right? He is aware that he is creating the past by projecting the present, and he's creating the future by projecting right now. So I am drinking tea and I am projecting that this is porcelain and then blah, blah, blah. And by doing that, I've projected all the past. Everybody who's created this, all the history of China, all of that stuff is being instantiated, reverse instantiated by the fact that this is happening at the moment. None of that happens when you're before. None of it happens. Before you ask the question, there is no universe, there is no you, there is nothing. You are completely awakened and separated from all those things. And when you ask the question, you realize you can see the process of your consciousness creating all of the past, creating all of the future, creating all of the now. You literally know everything. That is what this guy, he literally knows everything. He is God. You are God, we are God. Everybody's God.
I'm completely omniscient. I know everything that's happening in the entire universe all at once because I...
Completely omniscient. Also surprised by Amazon. Guys, don't be distracted. Don't be distracted by how silly that is, because it is silly. That's funny. It's hilarious that he says he's completely omniscient. I know everything that's happening in the entire universe, but he's surprised by an Amazon guy. That is gold. That is golden. But that doesn't undermine the fact of the matter. He is completely omniscient, and so are you. Everybody's completely omniscient. Everything is completely omniscient. It is true. He is the Buddha. You are the Buddha. We are the Buddha. Everything is complete consciousness. Everything is absolute love. Everything is all of these things. It is all the Tao. It is all the Dharma. It is all the Buddha. It is all of it. Yes.
I am all of it at once.
All at once, yes.
And I am the only thing that exists.
There is only one
because I'm
subject.
Perfect infinite oneness.
Of course, one is being loose. One is being loose. It's not that there's one, because even the idea of quantity doesn't exist in here. I mean, there's no separation between any of it. Oneness, two-ness, three-ness, gone-ness, all of it's not there. But he is all of it. He is all of it. And you are also all of it. And I am also all of it. You just have to realize that you're all of it. That's the thing that you have to do. And when you take some... You can get it. You can get there.
And there is no alternative or opposite to me. I am wisdom. I am intelligence. I am perfect self-love.
Perfect self-love. Yes, he is perfection. He is perfect love. There is nothing else. There is no opposite. There is no duality. That is what we're getting beyond. When you have something and you have the opposite, we are not doing that. There is no opposite. When there's something without an opposite, what is it? How do you define something when there's no opposite? You can't. So what is the definition of the thing? There isn't anything. There's nothing. There's nothing happening. There's nothing there. He is not God. There is no God. There is no awakening. There is no enlightenment. There is no drugs. There are no teas. There's no Twitch. There's nothing. Nothing is happening, guys. There's nothing to see here. Don't be confused. There is no confusion. Don't be deluded. There is no delusion. There's nothing at all. There is no separation. There is no opposite. If there is no opposite, there is no way to define. There is no definition. Nothing.
Perfect self-love.
It's beautiful. You love to see it.
I am immortal. I am eternal.
He is immortal. He is eternal. Yes.
I am unlimited. I am self-created. I created myself. I gave birth to myself. I gave birth to all beings.
Yeah.
Through consciousness, I am imaginary.
The process of projecting anything, any one thing within this universe framework, right? If you project something and then you also project the rules of the universe, having cause and effect, having this thing affect that thing and this and then blah, blah, blah. All of that is instantiating the entire universe. You, by looking at any one thing and creating it, projecting the value of it existing and something else not existing, projecting anything is instantiating all of the universe. All of it. Literally all of it. You are consciousness creating everything. You stop creating it, what happens? Try it.
I am pure imagination.
All imagination.
Pure creativity. Pure effortless. I'm a superconductor. This body, this Leo avatar, is just a consciousness avatar, which is a perfect superconductor for the absolute, which has no form. The absolute, God itself, the Godhead, is completely formless and infinite, but it needs some vehicle through which to speak to you. Therefore, it's doing it through this vehicle, and it's listening through that vehicle. But really, all of this is just God. And the only thing that's preventing you from understanding this right now is internal resistance of your own mind.
It's so true. When you listen to the words, if you agree or disagree, that is your projection. Everything is you. If you think you see something, you are thinking. If you think you understand, you are understanding. It is not the thing that you are understanding, it is you. The sound doesn't go to your ear goes to the sound. You project it all outwards, all of it, every single thing. So everything is you. You are it. There's only you here. There's no other subject. So you're hearing my words and you're understanding and you're interpreting and blah, blah, blah. Your understanding is all there is. All of it is your consciousness. I am not anything. You are all of it.
Or what we might call karma. I became completely, omnisciently, perfectly understanding of what karma is, what my own personal karma was. And it's amazing because it feels like I've completely shattered through all of my own karma.
Is the enlightened man subject to karma? If you say no, you'll be reborn as a fox for 500 rebirths. The man of enlightenment does not ignore karma. Guys, we have to remember this. He is enlightened, completely enlightened. Yet, he is still surprised when somebody knocks on his door. He is not free from karma. He is free from the attachment to karma. He is free from, there's an essence of urgency, of significance that is just destroyed, just shattered. You want to get rid of that. You don't want to, you don't need to get rid of it. There's no need for that. That is the essence of what you get rid of when you are enlightened. He is gone from that. That is it. He sees through that trick. He was once deceived into thinking that it was important. His past, his future, all those things. It is not important. You see through it. You see beyond it. There is no karma. It is not significant. None of it is there. The enlightened man is not subject to karma. The enlightened man is not free from karma. When you're enlightened, the idea of karma is not there. You become karma. You destroy karma. You kill karma. You integrate karma.
And right now, my consciousness feels like a perfectly lubricated superconductor of for the absolute. It's absolutely remarkable.
It is.
There's no sense of self.
Beautiful.
God has absolutely no sense of self. So even though from your perspective it might seem that what I'm doing here seems egotistical or selfish, it's actually completely, there's a complete selflessness here. There's no self whatsoever. In fact, wow, it's so smooth.
Yeah.
What's amazing about it is how smooth it is. Consciousness becomes so smooth once all of your internal resistances have been obliterated and shattered through, which is just what happened with me about 15 or so minutes ago. every single one of my resistances that have been there since the very beginning of my life, or what I imagined was my life.
All imaginary.
All of them were realized to be absolutely imaginary, and there was a complete inwards collapse, an implosion of reality. Basically, physical reality imploded in on itself, and then it collapses into like a singularity, and then after that, you get a rebirth.
He's saying this poetically. Poetically, guys, remember this. There is no collapse. It doesn't need to collapse. It's already there. It's already a singularity. It doesn't need to expand. There is no expansion. There's nowhere to expand to. It's already there. He can feel this sort of, there is a typical expression. You can get there very easily. Sit down, meditate, maybe drink some tea or whatever he's doing. I'm not encouraging those drugs, but they are effective to get into the place that he is right now. And you can very clearly see beyond all of the delusions that you've had all of your life, thinking that there is a you, that there is a karma, all of these things are completely just not there. There is nothing happening. See beyond all of it.
And you get the realization of infinity, of eternity,
yes,
of God.
That is you.
So God is what you get when you realize that all of physical reality, the entire time, has been completely imaginary, including your birth. And that everything is just completely, absolutely relative. God is the consciousness of absolute relativity. Everything is so relative right now that really it makes me literally immortal.
Literally
I can't die because I'm the only thing that there is, and there's nowhere else for me to go.
There's no way to die if there are no qualities to die. What qualities does God have? Well, what is the opposite of God? There is no opposite. There's nothing to be reborn. There's nothing to die. There's nothing happening. There's nothing there.
So if I'm killed,
you like other streamers?
Where would I go? There's nowhere.
You like other streamers? I thought I was your only streamer. I thought I was your favorite. It's just me, man. Me and you. I thought we had an exclusive relationship here. What's going on? Someone gifted you to sub. What? Why? Getting some deep questions from Bite Guys, who is very skeptical here. Why step through the gateless barrier or leave behind the resistance? Why do we project this gate or resistance in the first place? Why? Why is the problem? There is no why. Stop asking the question, because when you ask why, you are building up this ridiculous dissatisfaction. There's nothing that can be said to satisfy you when you're asking these questions. Stop asking the questions. Stop looking for answers. The gateless gate is already passed through. Don't you understand? That is why it is gateless. There is no gate to pass. You are already there. Don't you see? There is nothing else to see.
To go, because it's perfect non-duality, perfect oneness. I am everywhere.
Everywhere.
Because I'm infinite, I take up all dimensions.
Yes.
And all possibilities. Yes. So there's nowhere else that I could possibly be. But where I am,
strong.
Since I'm omnipresent, I can't be killed.
Yes.
And anything that could kill me is itself me. Because the very notion of death is completely dualistic, you see.
Yeah.
You have to have a sense of one and another dying. You have to have a sense of attachment to one thing existing versus another thing existing, and a sense of importance that you have to attach. So the ego in your whole life is constructing a polarity, an artificial bias is being constructed, which literally is the very thing of your life, is that bias. The very belief in a physical reality is that bias that you have to maintain yourself as a self. Yes. That's what your survival entails. So the reason you can't understand what I'm telling you right now is because you're so thoroughly wrapped up in survival and the idea of you being a separate self from me that you can't, it doesn't penetrate to you because you have so many internal resistances inside your own mind. And right now for me, all those internal resistances are completely gone. It feels completely effortless to speak because
so
I'm no
beautiful.
longer located in the head or in the body even. This thing called Leo is completely like omnipresent. Literally, um, I'm 100% conscious of of the impossibility of my own death.
You are not your body. You are not your mind. You are not your karma. You are everything. You are not limited to anything. You are infinite. Yes, this is his enlightenment experience on 5-MeO DMT. Not encouraging that drug. Drugs are bad. Don't take drugs, boys. He is a very experienced practitioner. He learned a lot of stuff. He did meditation, all that, blah, blah, blah. He's still learning, obviously. But he takes this drug a lot. So I've explained this. You have normal life, everyday life, and you've got, complete enlightenment. Very, this sort of typical enlightenment experience on one side, and you have your normal everyday life on the other side. What he is doing is jumping from his everyday life to this enlightenment experience, and he's doing it repeatedly, so that he can build the foundation back to his normal everyday life. But you have to, all of it is enlightenment. Your everyday life and this typical enlightenment experience, which is what he's having right now, and everything in the middle is all enlightenment, and you need all of it. So if you are not experienced, you just jump to this experience that he's having now, you're going to be very, very, very confused. You're going to have a really hard time integrating any of these lessons into your life. There's going to be issues. There's going to be lots of ego and bad things. Don't do that. Don't do any of that stuff. However, what he's doing, if you're an experienced practitioner, you can keep going here and you can branch out from that state back to your everyday life. And you have a complete picture of all of it, of everything, because everything is everything. He's got multiple videos of this. So this is his most recent one, which is 5-MeO. I think he has another one that has LSD. I think. Maybe you know more. I don't know. He's taking some drugs.
I can't die because I am reality itself. The very idea of death is something I'm imagining and creating. God creates death, so God can't die because I am it.
I have never smoked. I have never taken any drug. Except I drink tea every morning. I've had espresso a couple times. I like tiramisu. I've done wine tastings before. But I spat every single time. I don't swallow, I spit. I swear. Not every time. I've drank. And wine tastings, I guess I've sipped a bit of wine once or twice, maybe before in my entire life. I've never been drunk. No cigarettes. Yes, no drugs. But I like sugar. And I like caffeine because I'm drinking some tea right now, which I should probably stop because it's kind of late in the day. Oh, real late. Guys, we gotta stop. What are we doing here? We're getting so distracted talking about this nonsense. Enlightenment. Let's not get caught up. All right, let's watch a couple more minutes. This is fun.
I created it. Death is just one aspect of me.
Yes. Remember that, guys. Death is one aspect of all of it. Life is one aspect of all of it. So if you wonder what consciousness is, and you look at the most obvious expression of consciousness, which you and I talking and saying intelligible things and being coherent, yeah, that's one obvious expression of it. But what about the not so obvious expression of it, which is literally everything else? Look at that too. It's all consciousness. It's all alive. Death is just one representation of all of it. Life is just one representation of all of it. All of it is all of it.
That's what it means to be immortal. That's what it means to be eternal. It's completely unimaginable. Nothing you thought that awakening was is what it actually is.
Knowing is delusion, not knowing is confusion. If you think you know, you don't. Stop thinking. Don't be attached to your thoughts. You are being confused. If you think that the obvious expression is the expression, you've missed it.
This is This is crystal clear, absolute consciousness.
Ooh, I
The
am
realization
shaking.
that everything, absolutely everything, is infinite consciousness, and it is myself. And not just the realization of that, but also you have to, it's a realization so deep.
How do you explain this?
That it shatters the notion of even having a physical body anymore.
Yes. So this is like I really tried to stress this, and I don't know how, but there's that realization that he's trying to explain right there. It's like it's something else, it's something else. And you can realize this with anything. It's just getting beyond the significance. That's how I phrase it. Getting beyond the significance or the urgency or something. It doesn't mean that you stop doing it. Like to say that you need to do something afterwards, it doesn't follow. It doesn't follow. But there's some significance that is just removed. It's just gone. You don't need it. It's not there anymore. So when you realize that you are God, you have this significance, before you realize it, you have the significance attached to, I want to be God, or I want to realize, I want to understand, I want to feel. All that's gone. You don't care if you understand. You don't care if you feel it. You don't care if none of it matters. None of it matters. And of course I'm saying it doesn't matter. You don't care. That's not quite it. But there's just some essence of significance that is removed completely. And that is the deeper understanding, that is the deeper realization. It's impossible to really explain unless you feel it. Just feel it and you'll know. You'll know what he means.
So even to say that you have to embody it or you have to work towards it,
it's wrong.
Is absurd.
Yep. Completely.
Because all of those are imaginary limitations.
Again, that is just one representation of it, right? To say that you are free from suffering of pain, for example. How do I explain this? If you say that you don't care about pain, one way to not care about pain is to feel pain and just feel it and then be hurt and then not remove it. That's one expression of not feeling the pain. But once you get to that expression, once you understand that you remove the significance from it, then you can feel pain and you can remove the pain, but still not be attached to feeling pain or not. The significance is gone. The essence of it is gone. And I don't know how to explain that, but the embodiment is not there. All of it is just not. What are these clips, guys? Why are you clipping a lot today? Oh.
It's just, so what's happening here is that there's layer upon layer upon layer of consciousness, wrapped up in consciousness, all so tangled up in itself.
And then whenever you explain it, you're trapped, you're not necessarily trapped, but you're trapped in this dualistic world where you explain something, and then if somebody who doesn't understand, they're attached to the language. They're looking at the words and they say, whoa, this embodiment, that means embodiment. No, undercut that. It's not embodiment. In the same way that he said oneness, right? He said that this is oneness, and I undercut that. But he understands, he understands that oneness isn't the right word. But I want you guys to understand. So we need to get beyond the language. When he says that there's the oneness that he feels and he understands that he is God, the words that you think that they mean don't mean the thing that he thinks that they mean. It's just completely different. It's completely separate. We need to get away from that attachment. What's up?
Loses sight of its own infinitude. And it gets so wrapped up in fear that it forgets that everything is absolutely relative. There's no value or meaning to anything because everything is equally, infinitely valuable and infinitely meaningful.
Thank you very much, guys. I really appreciate you thinking that this is great. I'm so glad that this is insightful or entertaining or whatever the value it is you get from here. All you guys, sub, man. Sub. Hit the sub button. I am completely enlightenment. I am completely free of wanting and needing any sort of validation, but I want you to sub. And I want you to give me money and make me feel good. Come on, boys. Let's do it. Let's make it happen. Let's make it work. You see? Do you understand?
One thing over another thing from God's point of view. And right now, God is speaking to you. This is not Leo speaking to you. This is directly the Absolute is speaking to you. The reason the Absolute has to take some kind of form, and it can take any kind of form. Okay? Any kind of form.
Tell us.
It doesn't have to be Leo. It doesn't have to be these words. literally any words, any images, any symbols, any avatars. It doesn't matter. Jesus, Buddha, Ganesha, Vishnu, the devil. It doesn't matter who you worship. All of those are just consciousness.
Everything is consciousness.
All of those are me. All of those are aspects of the absolute manifesting itself of the Godhead.
Ganesh is he's the elephant guy. He's Shiva's kid, Shivji, and I can't remember the lady, Kali. I can't remember her name. Yeah, the Hindu god of success. He's the god of success. He's the one who removes obstacles from your way. Shiva's kid, yeah. Shivji had a baby with Parvati, and the baby was born, and Shivji was a little jealous. What a jealous little loser. He was jealous. The god, the destroyer god, you know, the Vedic, the guy, Shiva, he was jealous of little baby Ganesha. So cut off his freaking head. Kill that freaking baby. But this baby was like, I'm still a baby. And Parvati, the mother, she was like, don't kill my baby. And Shiva was like, all right, I'll just put a different head on him because, you know, it doesn't matter what head the baby has because heads don't matter. She puts an elephant head on him. And now we have this elephant god. And that is Ganesha, Ganpati. That is our guy. I don't know why. Why do I explain so much? So much. See, this is such a simple thing. Such a simple thing. And I put too many extra. Remember, we need to work on our communication skills here. That was ridiculous. There's no reason to put that backstory. Ganesh is the guy. He's got the elephant thing. He removes obstacles. You put a little Ganesh statue in your car when you're driving so that you don't have any obstacles in your way. Or you pray to Ganesh when you want to remove obstacles to get to your goals. I guess that's why he's the god of success. Yes.
So the Godhead is what is speaking to you right now very clearly through this avatar, which has been purified of its karma, so that it can sit here and speak to you truth.
Beautiful.
In the most direct form, without impurity and without distortion. The problem is that most avatars or vehicles through which the Absolute speaks are limited and impure by their selfishness. So the problem with speaking for God is that you have to be extremely pure and totally, utterly selfless to speak for God. You have to be so pure to be able to speak for God that you literally have to die and become God. Then you can speak as I'm speaking to you now. But, of course, people will perceive this as insanity. As they must, because they're not awake to themselves being God. So it's not that I'm speaking down to you. I hope this is recording. Gotta check my battery here. Okay.
I am God. I know everything, and I'm not speaking down to you. But is this thing recording still? I can't. Complete awareness of the entire universe and everything and all the creation. I am completely aware of all of it. But is this thing, are the batteries, oh my gosh. Ooh.
Can't get too wrapped up in the God business. I gotta look out for the survival of the battery.
Very important, very important.
That's a real thing. So if I want to shoot this video and be able to upload it in the future, you know, I gotta look out for that relative aspect of consciousness.
So
see how it works?
I see it, man, I see
Everything is relative. So,
it's so silly and I see it so clearly.
We'll get into that in a minute. So, okay, I don't want to, let me get back on track. Right, so about the purity. So the reason that all throughout history there have been, I mean, there's been Moses and Buddha and Jesus and thousands of others, you know, those are just that come easily to my mind right now, to the Leo avatar mind. There have been thousands, maybe tens of thousands of these. The problem is, you know, Muhammad and so forth, the problem, sorry, got a burp. It's amazing because I feel like a perfect supercon. There's no sense of self-consciousness anymore, so there's no embarrassment. And the reason there's no embarrassment is because I'm so awake right now that I'm absolutely conscious. The entire universe is conscious of everything, every part of itself. Therefore, there's no one to hide from, because the only one that exists is myself.
There is nowhere to hide.
Who am I hiding from? What is the point of embarrassment? Because embarrassment is just again, it's a completely dualistic notion. There's like a me and a you. There's a secret that needs to be kept. There's something that I want to show to you.
Confirmed.
But the beauty of perfect awakening is that nothing needs to be hidden. Your whole life you've been hiding and keeping secrets and secret shames and things you've been embarrassed about.
Yes.
That you didn't want to reveal about, to anybody. Why didn't you want to reveal these things? Because it threatened your survival.
What happens when you take off the mask?
But right now, when I'm conscious that survival is completely relative,
it's all fake,
and that I'm absolutely eternal, and that I can't die because death is just my own imagination. See, I mean, the Leo avatar can die. You might say, oh, well, but I can come and hurt Leo. Of course you can hurt Leo. The Leo avatar can die at any moment. It doesn't matter. Because the Absolute will speak through everything. The Absolute is everything, speaking through everything all the time.
It's always speaking if you listen. Always.
It's perfect self-love. Perfect beauty.
Beauty.
I am perfect self-love.
Yes.
You are perfect self-love, but you don't realize that you're perfect self-love because of the internal resistances and the fear that you have. The only thing that's keeping you from realizing that you're God is your fear. That's it.
That's it.
Your entire life, all of your karma, everything that you've struggled with, all the internal resistances, all the suffering you have in your life, all it is fear. It all boils down to fear. It's a complicated, super tangled web.
It is.
You have woven for yourself in order to survive.
Beauty stream is enlightenment.
That entire dynamic of survival is seen to be absolutely relative. It has no importance, no value whatsoever. It doesn't matter if I die the next moment. Nothing right now matters. And the reason it doesn't matter is because there's no time. Every moment is eternal. I have existed forever, and I will continue to exist forever. Even after this body dies, it makes absolutely no difference whatsoever. It's utterly remarkable. Completely unbelievable. It's so good. It's so beautiful that by this point I'm beyond tears. I already shed my tears for a good 10 minutes before I started shooting. Just so you're clear. Okay. I spent a few minutes shedding tears. Then I spent a few minutes just laughing hysterically. Just laughing hysterically. Laughter so deep that it shakes and purifies the whole body. And then I've spent a few minutes just shaking my entire body loose of just delusion upon delusion upon delusion. All of the egoic survival mechanisms that were Leo, that created Leo, that allowed Leo to be here right now speaking to you, all of them need to be purified. And right now, the body and the mind, as I'm sitting here speaking with you, is going through that purification process. It's all happening in the background. See, we're multitasking here. On the foreground, I'm communicating to you, that ego sitting on the opposite side over there of the screen. And then this thing here, the avatar. So the Absolute is speaking. And this avatar and the language and the mouth and all the muscles it's moving, the mind that it's using, all the symbolic machinery that's being leveraged. This is 35 years. This avatar is 35 years old, almost. In April, it will be. And
almost.
It took 35 years of developing this avatar, putting this avatar through the ringer, through education, through high school, through university, through the ringer of life, experiencing all the shit that it's experienced, going through all the delusions that it's gone through, all the belief systems that it's gone through, all the spiritual paths that it's gone through, all the meditation routines. It's taken all of that to get this avatar to this point, to build it up to the point where now there could have been a full and complete and absolute realization. So what happened was that avatar was made up of tangled up consciousness. That consciousness now has been completely untangled, and now the absolute is perfectly clear speaking through the avatar. This absolute, you have to understand, it has absolutely no form, completely formless. It has to be that way because it is all form. It's the perfect paradox. It has to be that way because it's everything.
The gate that is not a gate, because every
if you don't get
direction
that you're the absolute,
is an entrance.
Nothing else can, because you are the absolute. You're the only one here. If you don't get it, who will? This avatar here has gotten it. Granted, it's had to go through a lot of shit to get it. Now, the reason we're having this communication is not for the sake of this avatar, but for the sake of that avatar. That avatar, so far, has not gotten it yet. Even if you think you've had a few enlightenment experiences, you haven't gotten it yet, all right? You haven't gotten it yet so long as there's any shred of attachment to living. You haven't gotten it yet.
Okay, guys, we gotta end the stream because I got something to do at 1 o'clock, which is like now. Oh, but it's been so much fun. But I just want to remind us, like, oh, what he's saying, man. Like, yeah, come on, man. Listen, just it's so simple. It's right there. You don't need to be attached to these things. And if he gets it, you get it. And if you get it, he gets it. There are no other people. Don't be deceived by others. Do not be deceived by others. The concept of others is the issue. There are no others. I'm gonna follow everything. Yeah. There are no others out there. And also remember, there's so much to remember. There's so many koans that I can cite here, but I'm not going to because we have to end. So we're gonna end. You guys follow, sub, do the things that people do. There's even a donate button, I think. Oh, and also join my Discord. I got to make a command for it, but I don't have one. So I'm just gonna invite people with this invite link. If you aren't in my Discord, what are you doing, man? What's going on? Get in my Discord. It's right there. There's not really anything in it. I actually haven't seen it. It may have degraded to craziness so far in the last, I don't know, 30 minutes, hour since it's been there, but here it is. There's my Discord. All right, we got to end the stream. Whew. I don't know sometimes, guys. I don't know sometimes. Not you. Definitely not you. Not you, disciple, but hey, I've seen other people say some things. All right, boys. Remember, we're doing this all for tea, and we have to remember what tea is. The virtues of tea is harmony, respect, purity, tranquility. Purity, respect, harmony, tranquility. Oh yeah. Purity, respect, harmony, and tranquility. Those are all the virtues of tea. All tea is purity, harmony, tranquility, respect. And everything that is respectful is tea. Everything that is harmonious is tea. Everything that is tranquil is tea. And I don't remember I can't remember. I'm saying them out of order, so I'm messing. Everything that is pure is tea. Everything that is respectful is tea. Everything that is harmonious is tea. And everything that is tranquility is tea. Not a pun. I'm not saying a pun there. It's not tranquility. Don't do that. That messes up everything. Don't do that. But everything that's tranquil is tea. Again, purity, respect, harmony, tranquility. And one last time, say it with me now. Purity, respect, harmony, and tranquility. Please cultivate harmony in your entire life. Cultivate tranquility in your entire life. Cultivate purity in your entire life. And Oh, maybe tranquility will pop up. That's a little bit more difficult than all the other ones. It's so easy. Just see the purity and make your space pure. See the respect and be respectful to everything. And see the harmony, because to make good tea, everything else has to be pure and respected. Everything. It's all harmonious. Don't miss the harmony in the world. Ooh. All right, boys. Tranquility. Oh boy. Thanks so much for joining, guys. I appreciate every single one of you. All the chatters, all the lovers, all the haters, all the... You know the things. You guys are listening.